Page Heller here. It's tune-up time for the old Saab Sonett. Yeah, you're going to need 4 new spark plugs, 1 set of points, 1 rotor, 1 distributor cap, and maybe 1 new condenser. Condensers don't usually go bad, so I only replace mine once every 8 to 10 years. Be sure that you get the right spark plugs. Check them at the counter. Some computers show the wrong set. So chassis numbers 510 and below use a short reach, and above 510 use a long reach. Don't mix them up though, because you can damage your pistons. Next, you're going to check to see that the gap on the spark plugs are 0.025 inches. That's 0.6 millimeters. They're typically that way out of the box, so you should be okay. You shouldn't have any trouble with points, although I have had the wrong set with the wrong diameter on the pivot post, which you probably should check. I never have trouble finding the rotor, however, and the distributor cap is pretty easy too, but I have been given one that had the notch in the bottom in the wrong place. Please check it at the counter before you buy it. And this isn't the right condenser, but it does work, but you'll have to cut and splice the wire to fit it into the right connector. Work on your engine cold, please. We don't want anybody burned. And okay, so now I'm standing on the driver's side, and I'm going to show you here the plugs, where the plugs are for 3 and 4, pistons 3 and 4. And hey, don't let the distributor cable get too close to the exhaust, because it will melt and you'll have lots of sparks flying. Whoa, it looks like mine's too close. Actually, I got to go outside and change it. So now I'm on the passenger side, and here we can see very clearly on the manifold the piston numbers, in case you wonder where those are. So you can see them just above the valve covers, and you'll see that 2 is on the back and 1 is on the front. That piston number 1 is really hard to get to, the spark plug, because it's right behind the alternator. So you'll have a hard time trying to reach that one. It's usually a right angle plug, and I wish you good luck with that. Don't burn yourself on a hot alternator, please. The timing light goes on the number 1 piston. And so I patch in a cable that I've used. It's an old one that I just peeled back the insulation on, so I can clip right onto it. It's very handy to use that way. So let's take a look at the specs. The breaker gap is 0.016 inches, which is 0.4 millimeters. And that should give you a dwell angle of 50 degrees. We'll twist the distributor to get a timing of 10 degrees before top dead center, and I'll show you later how to do that. Here's how you set the points. Of course, they're going to be installed in the distributor. You'd like the RPM to be about 1,000 for the test. Mine's a little low, 700, but the dwell is right on. I mean, the 8-cylinder scale has 25, and that is right exactly on 25. Multiply that times 2, and you see the dwell angle of 50, which is a result of hitting that 0.016 inch right on. And now I'm going to show you that 10 degrees before top dead center. That's seen up by the belts, and you see top dead center scale there. This photo's upside down, by the way. It's the other way around. And now the timing light. I'm going to freeze it here so you can see the little dot that's next to that scale. It looks like I'm a little short of the 10, probably about 8, and that's probably because my RPM is low. think the true test of a good tune-up is if you can walk up to the outside of the car, reach in, and start it. I think that did it.